So there's a few things that stood out to me about the Indiana Fever's schedule. One, they have extra back-to-backs, or not necessarily extra. There are other teams with as many, but more than most teams, 3 back-to-backs on the season, I believe, which sucks when you're trying to prevent injury and all that. But there's another quirk in the schedule that could lead to it being a season for the books, especially for the duo of Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston. Look, we know those two have quite a relationship on the court and off the court. All those things, it's really worked out for them back-to-back number.
The secret is out, and those who saw it can barely believe it. Inside a closed-door 2026 Team USA practice, insiders witnessed something extraordinary. Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston unveiled a level of chemistry so rare it left veteran coaches stunned. This wasn't a routine scrimmage. It was a warning. A glimpse of dominance powered by instinct, precision, and an almost telepathic connection. The strength, the rhythm, the effortless understanding between them went far beyond expectations. What was once whispered as a possibility is now undeniable. Together, Clark and Boston aren't just forming a duo, they're reshaping what greatness looks like.
Have quite a relationship on the court and off the court. All those things, it's really worked out for them back-to-back number 1 picks. You could say the Fever benefited from being bad because that was the case. But those two together, the foundation of the team. But not only do they have a chance to compete for a WNBA championship this year, but they should be teammates on Team USA. Both Clark and Aliyah Boston were part of the USA basketball camp in December. And one would assume they're both going to make the roster for the World Cup.
This unprecedented partnership emerges against a demanding backdrop already raising eyebrows across the WNBA. The Indiana Fever, home to both Clark and Boston, face one of the league's toughest schedules highlighted by 3 sets of back-to-back games, more than nearly any other team. The relentless pace has sparked concern over fatigue, recovery, and long-term health. For a young team on the rise, it's a trial by fire. A clear reminder that success in this league is earned not just through talent, but endurance. And it's within this pressure cooker that their true resilience will be tested.
Going to make the roster for the World Cup. And when you look at the WNBA schedule that was released, assuming a CBA gets done, this is interesting. They will go on a break from August 31st to September 16th for the World Cup, which will be played in Berlin. Teams will have a handful of games after that tournament finishes, with the playoffs set to begin on September 27th. So really, you could have that break there that allows those 2 players and everybody else on the Team USA, of course, to go to the World Cup and compete for a gold medal. And, Clark and Boston could be gold medal teammates, and it stands to reason they'll both be playing big.
But it's another scheduling twist that truly changes everything. From August 31st to September 16th, the season pauses for the World Cup, a rare break in the unforgiving WNBA calendar. Quietly, insiders are calling it a game changer. This window offers Clark and Boston something invaluable: time together on a global stage. An opportunity to sharpen their bond, elevate their chemistry, and test themselves against the world's best. This isn't downtime. It's a launch sequence, one that could propel their connection to an entirely new level.
World Cup and compete for a gold medal. And, Clark and Boston could be gold medal teammates, and it stands to reason they'll both be playing big minutes for that team as well. And then you go back to the season. And so that hype feeds in to the other, and you get the playoffs, and they push even further. So if the Fever make an extended run in the playoffs, it's a double whammy of sorts. And why do you say they're going to make the team? Well, we know what happened when Clark didn't make the Olympic team last time around. And, she's the best point guard in the world, so she should be on the team. But Sue Bird, who's the managing director of USA Basketball, also had good things to say about both players. I mean, this was back at...
And now, the whispers inside the league confirm what leaked footage only suggested. Clark and Boston aren't simply teammates, they are the heartbeat of the Indiana Fever. On the court and beyond it, their relationship has forged a rare, unshakable chemistry that lifts everyone around them. As back-to-back number 1 picks, they've grown into the unquestioned foundation of a franchise on the brink of something special. The league watches, captivated, as their bond hardens into a force that may soon be impossible to stop.
And Clark had played basketball in a minute.
Yeah, I thought she looked great, right? I mean, here's a player that didn't get to play this summer, all in, didn't get to play a lot of basketball really in the last year plus. So for this to be the first day back, she looked great. You know, the things that are going to be hard is always the conditioning part. It's really hard to get in basketball shape without playing basketball. So I'm sure that's going to, come as the camp comes. But she looked great regardless outside of that. And the other thing is like rhythm, right? You got to find your rhythm. And, I'm sure everybody saw that one step back in transition she had. So the rhythm looks great. But more than anything, you want all these players to just be around each other, right? Off the court, on the court.
But their partnership stretches far beyond the Indiana Fever. Both Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston were key participants in Team USA's December training camp, a clear signal of their growing international ambitions. Around the program, expectations are no longer speculative. It's widely assumed both will earn spots on the upcoming World Cup roster, wearing the same colors on the world's biggest stage. Among those inside the system, their joint presence isn't viewed as a possibility, it's treated as an approaching certainty. Clark and Boston are no longer just domestic stars. They are emerging pillars of the future of Team USA.
On her podcast, the Fever took the quote here. What really stands out to me is Aliyah Boston. Aliyah Boston looks great right now. She looked great in USA camp. She's really, I think, found her game and just has a confidence about this is what I do and I'm going to be great at these things. And one of those things is playmaking. So that's another aspect that she sees for Boston on the USA squad, and that's been something that Boston has done for the Indiana Fever. So, it could be just quite a campaign for those two if things break the right way. I gotta assume health. Obviously, the Fever got to beat the teams in front of them. You're not walking to a championship. You're not guaranteed a championship. But they play.
Perhaps the most revealing insight from inside the national team camp came from managing director Sue Bird, who offered a candid assessment of Clark's readiness. Bird acknowledged that it was Clark's first extended return to the court after time away, but her verdict was immediate and emphatic. She looked great, Bird said, pointing to Clark's instant influence on the floor. Even without being in peak condition, Clark commanded attention, dictated pace, and reminded everyone why her talent transcends circumstance. It was an unfiltered confirmation of her rare ability to make an impact the moment she steps between the lines.
And Boston and Clark being on the USA basketball roster is basically a given. So it seems far away now, but it could be a really, really special fall for not only the entire Fever team, but particularly those two. In the meantime, Aliyah continues to have good things to say about her teammate. She was Caitlin Clark's worlds collided on the broadcast of the Iowa-Maryland game because it was Lisa Bluter and Aliyah Boston together, obviously her college coach and her current teammate.
What's interesting about you both now is you have a connective thread, one of the most...
Bird didn't ignore the challenges either. Conditioning, she admitted, would be Clark's biggest hurdle, a natural result of time away from live competition. It's really hard to get in basketball shape without playing basketball, Bird explained. Yet even with that caveat, the brilliance was impossible to miss. One flawless step-back transition shot was enough to reveal Clark's rhythm and instinct were already intact. It was a brief but unmistakable glimpse of what's coming when she's fully locked in.
I just always want to be in her camp and support her. I have so much admiration for her, for what she has really not only just accomplished, but what she's handled in her young 24 years of life. I told her today, your 20s have been pretty good to you.
I would say so. Yeah, they've been transformative, I would say, to say the least. And Aliyah, it's been interesting watching her final season in college with you here at the desk and then watching your relationship develop at the professional level.
Yeah, honestly, it has been so great. It's always so weird when you play against someone and then you are on the same team and building that relationship. But I think just over the past 2 years, it's been amazing. From the first time she got to Indy and us just building that relationship on the court.
And Clark wasn't the only one turning heads. On her podcast, Sue Bird delivered unexpected and powerful praise for Aliyah Boston. Aliyah Boston looks great right now, Bird declared, highlighting a new level of confidence and command in her game. This wasn't casual flattery, it was recognition of Boston's evolution into an elite, multidimensional force. Bird pointed to a developing skill Boston has been quietly refining with the Fever, one that could prove vital for Team USA's playmaking. It's a subtle transformation that elevates her impact far beyond scoring or rebounding. At the same time, An unspoken narrative surrounds Clark's Team USA push. The sting of her exclusion from the previous Olympic roster remains a powerful motivator. This isn't just about making the team, it's about redemption. A mission fueled by memory, driving an intensity few can match. Boston herself offered the most personal glimpse into their partnership, describing a competitive bond that pushes them to be better every day. "It honestly continues to motivate you because you want to be great for each other," she shared. She even revealed their pre-game ritual. Shared hugs and affirmations, small moments that reflect deep trust and mutual belief. These insights expose the emotional core behind their dominance, revealing a partnership built not just on talent, but on purpose. That extraordinary bond hasn't gone unnoticed. Even Caitlin Clark's former college coach, Lisa Bludder, has weighed in predicting that Aliyah Boston would be one of the immediate beneficiaries of Clark's arrival in Indiana. Bludder openly celebrated the move, knowing Boston would thrive on the steady flow of precision passes, easy looks, and fast break opportunities Clark creates. This wasn't casual praise. It was an expert forecast, one that foreshadowed the offensive eruption their partnership was always destined to deliver. A vision of the future that is now unfolding in real time. Across the basketball world, the verdict is becoming increasingly confident. Clark and Boston are being labeled a true dynamic duo, with some daring to suggest they could evolve into the most impactful pairing in WNBA history. This isn't hyperbole. It's recognition of two rare skill sets that don't just coexist, they amplify each other. The ceiling of what they can achieve together is staggering, fueled by individual brilliance and a chemistry that elevates everyone around them. And looming over it all is the ultimate prize. The once unthinkable possibility of World Cup gold, followed shortly by a WNBA championship, now feels shockingly plausible. A convergence of international and domestic glory within a single season, a double triumph that would place them among the sport's immortals. Opportunities like this are extraordinarily rare, requiring perfect timing, elite talent, and organizational alignment. This isn't just a dream scenario. It's a carefully aligned window for historic success. What makes this moment even more remarkable is how seldom all these forces collide. The WNBA calendar, international competition, and a duo of this magnitude almost never align so cleanly. It's a once-in-a-generation convergence, a perfect storm that opens the door for history to be written in real time. Still, seasoned observers remain grounded. Championships are never guaranteed. Health remains paramount, and the Indiana Fever must navigate a brutal league filled with elite contenders. This is no coronation, it's a grind. While a playoff run feels well within reach, the path to a title will demand resilience, adaptability, and sustained excellence under pressure. Yet despite those realities, one conclusion feels nearly unanimous across basketball circles. Clark and Boston's inclusion on the Team USA roster is essentially a given. This isn't optimism, it's acknowledgement of their strategic value. Together, they offer a level of star power, balance, and synergy few combinations can match. The global stage is ready, waiting to showcase what happens when two generational talents move as one. Their connection, however, didn't begin as teammates. It traces back to their college days as fierce rivals. Boston has spoken candidly about how strange it felt to go from competing against Clark to joining forces. But that unease quickly gave way to recognition. A shared ambition. A mirrored intensity. Complementary strengths that fit almost too naturally. What began as competition transformed into something far more dangerous, an alliance built to dominate. Those closest to Clark's journey say her mission is crystal clear. The pain of an Olympic snub and the frustration of injuries have only sharpened her resolve. This is no longer about opportunity, it's about legacy. A relentless pursuit to cement her place in USA basketball history, driven by a fire that refuses to fade. And now, everything is aligning. Talent, timing, opportunity, purpose. The leaked glimpses of their 2026 dominance hint at a future where Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston aren't just elite players but architects of a new era in women's basketball. An era defined by connection, courage, and championship ambition. What they're building isn't just special, it's iconic. And history may soon remember this moment as the beginning of something unforgettable.